there was a big fat fly flying around here just seconds ago, and I think it went out the window because I don't hear it anymore. Let's hope it went out the window. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today I have the update for Project Level Up. So Project Level Up was created by 𝓮𝓪𝓬𝓮. She's linked down below, and it is a mix of trying to hit pan, trying to do no pan left behind, sort of pan that palette, not quite, but it's a nice mixture of different goals you try to hit in one palette. Also, one of our neighbors is doing I don't know what with power tools. It doesn't sound like it's going well. I don't know what's going on, but sorry if you can hear it that. So anyway, I was on a level 3, so I'm trying to use every shadow in my palette 3 times and also hit 3 pans. If you've been around, you know that I first worked on a Beauty Bay Disney palette. That was very unsuccessful. So last month I switched to the Beauty Bay Love Notes palette. So normally I randomize 3 palettes and then I pick one. This time the Love Notes was one that was also randomized when I picked that Beauty Bay Disney one. So I decided to pick that one instead when I realized that the Beauty Bay Disney one wasn't gonna work. So with that being said, here is my palette. This is what it looks like. You can see I have an insane amount of pans in this, and I had that before rolling it in for a level 3, but I will go over every shadow, my thoughts on this palette, and yeah, let's see where we stand. So first up we have the shade Corset. This I used 7 times and I hit pan in it. This one actually I hit today, which there was quite a dip. I honestly believe that's because I either dug my nail into it on accident or like the back of a brush, because it was a very defined dip, and I don't feel like I used it that much, but I don't know. I hit pan in this after 7 uses. It is a very, very crumbly, loose pressed shade. Like every time I would dip my brush into it, there would be so much kick up. So that helped hitting pan. This is an empty pan, was empty already. Next to that we have the shade Candlelight, Chandelier. Trying to read this backwards in the viewfinder. Okay, maybe we'll leave the shade names. So this one I used 5 times, already had a pan. Next to that, this shade I used once, so I still need to use that 2 times, preferably. Then here we have the next shade. I used that 3 times, so that is done. Already had a pan. Going down the shadow, I used 4 times, so completed that. This was potentially one I wanted to hit pan on, but it's too red based for me. I don't love this shade of brown, so I abandoned that idea. Then here, the shade I used 6 times and I was able to hit a pan. I actually didn't realize that this pan was new. I just looked at my notes this morning and I saw I had it marked as I've hit pan, and I forgot to mark it on my sticky notes. So yeah, this I think was my 2nd pan, maybe my 1st, I'm not really sure, doesn't matter. I hit pan in this, and it took me 6 uses. And next to that, this purpley shadow I've used once. Then we have this one used once, and this one also I've used once. Then down here, the shadow I used twice. The one next to that I used twice. The one next to that I used 3 times. So we've completed that. Then next to that purple shimmer, the pink I used once. And then this sort of red shimmer I didn't use at all. And then the bottom row, this shadow I used 3 times, so we're completed that. This shimmer I used twice. Then here we have this darker purple. I used 5 times and I managed to hit pan in that. So this I think was my first pan, or either this was the first, this was the second, and then that one was the third. So yeah, pan in that. And then the last 2 shadows I used once each. So where do we stand? I fully believed that I still had 1 pan left to hit until I looked at my notes and was like, oh wait, I already hit this pan too. That wasn't there yet. So I have hit my 3 pans, which is pretty crazy for a month. So we have this pan right here, which is new. Then this pan is new. And then the darker purple one. So I do need to do quite a few uses. However, I have noticed that these 2 rows of this palette, I'm just not interested in. The purples are okay. I'm wearing a purple look today. It is not my favorite, but there's shadows in here that I do truly like. This one, it's very basic, but it's a very nice crease shade. This shimmer one doesn't apply the best, but paired with this one, I love this shadow. This is such a stunning shadow, as well as this kind of purpley, I don't even know how to describe this. It is so beautiful. And then there's just shadows that I don't care for at all. I wore this one today, barely any payoff. It's mostly purple loose glitters and no base, so that's kind of a bummer. This spark one is a very like pinky warm tone purple that I don't love. The mattes are okay, but they're very light matte shadows, so they don't really do a whole lot for me. So I'm kind of stuck on what to do with this palette. Do I count my total uses and see if it's enough to move on? Because honestly, like the pink ones, the matte pink ones, I could use for blush and use them that way my 3 times. The rest, like that shimmery red, and here's another shimmery red, I don't see myself using that. Or should I say, I don't see myself liking to use that. I would force myself to use that, but I wouldn't love it. I think with the uses that I have on this palette already, I've made up my mind as to what shadows I like and which I don't. So for that purpose, I also wouldn't really have to force myself to use more of these shadows. So what do you guys think? What should I do? Let me count how many uses I still need for some of these shadows. Okay, so I have done a total of like 12 extra uses. So I've counted the shadows that I've used more than 3 times. And then I've counted like the amount of uses that I've gone over 3. And that's 12. I needed 20. So what I think I'll be doing is keep this palette in for a month. I'm gonna try and do like the matte pink ones, just get the 3 uses on those. And then some of the purples I think I could do, and then we'll see if we can roll this out. So there's that. I've done quite a good amount of damage on this palette. You see the amount of pans I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shadows left that don't have a pan, which is crazy. Out of this, how many are there? 20. So that's crazy. Will I ever hit pan in all of these shadows? I don't think so, but who knows. I'm gonna still be working on this for next month, and I will report back. Hopefully I'll have completed all my uses. If there's shadows that I just do not want to touch anymore, I'll make sure to do some more uses on shadows that I do love, especially like this one and this one I've been loving. So maybe I'll just do an extra 3 or 5 uses on those to make up for any shadows that I just don't want to use, or I will not be able to get my 3 uses on. Who knows? So that will be all for this update. I hope it kind of made sense. Yeah, it's just staying in, and we shall see you next month. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in one of my next videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.